Final part. I sold your father's restaurant. You're too young to run it, my stepfather announced. I was 28, managed it for 5 years. The buyer arrived to sign papers. He looked confused, but I already bought it. The kind of man who thought authentic Italian meant adding oregano to frozen pizza. Jim, come in. Come in. Can I get you coffee, water? Just want to get this done, Morrison grunted. I've got contractors ready to start demo on Monday. Demo? They were going to demolish Dad's work. Of course. Gerald spread out the contracts now as we discuss. $3 million for the property and business. Actually, Morrison interrupted, pulling out his phone. I need to check something. My accountant just sent me. He frowned at his screen. This can't be right. What's wrong? Morrison showed Gerald his phone. This shows Moretz was sold yesterday to Richardson Hospitality Group. The color drained from Gerald's face. That's impossible. But I did sell it yesterday, I said helpfully to Marcus Richardson for $3.5 million. The sale was finalized at 10:17 this morning. Gerald's mouth opened and closed like a land of fish. You can't. You don't have the authority to sell my own property. Sure I do. I pulled out my copies of the contracts. See, I own 51% controlling interest. I don't need anyone's permission, but I have power of attorney for your mother's shares, which means you can sell her 49%. I smiled sweetly to Jim here. If he wants to buy a minority stake in a restaurant you can't control, can't change, and can't profit from without my approval. Morrison's face was turning purple. What kind of scam are you running, Gerald? It's not. She can't, Linda. Gerald spun toward my mother, who'd been silent in the corner. Tell her. Mom looked at me, then at Gerald, then at the contracts on the table. For the first time in years, I saw a flash of the woman who'd stood beside Dad building their dream. I think she said quietly that my daughter just outsmarted you, Gerald. This is illegal, Gerald sputtered. I'll sue. For what? I asked. Selling my own property. You're welcome to try selling Mom's minority stake, but good luck finding a buyer willing to pay millions for zero control. Morrison was already heading for the door. I'm done here. And Gerald, expect to hear from my lawyer about the deposit you took. Deposit? Mom's voice sharpened. What deposit? Gerald's face went from red to white. Just earnest money, standard practice. How much? Mom's voice could have frozen hell. 50,000. Morrison called over his shoulder. Non-refundable, he said, except when the seller commits fraud. The door slammed behind him. The silence that followed was deafening. You took MEC 50,000. Mom's voice was deadly quiet without even owning what you were selling. I was about to own it. The plan was perfect until he pointed at me, rage, distorting his features. You ruined everything. No, I said calmly. You ruined everything the day you decided to steal my father's legacy. I just refused to let you. I headed for the door, pausing to look back at my mother. Dad always said, you judge a person by how they treat those who can't fight back. Gerald thought I couldn't fight back because I was young and grieving. He was wrong. Sophia Waite.R. Richardson is keeping all the staff, Mom. He's even giving them raises, and he's promised to keep Dad's recipes exactly as they are. Moretz will live on, just not under our name, which is still better than Gerald's sports bar. I left them there, Gerald screaming about lawsuits and betrayal. Mom finally seeing the man she'd married for who he really was. That night, I stood in Moretti's kitchen one last time as owner. The staff threw an impromptu party, toasting a future and roasting Gerald's failed scheme. Marcus Richardson joined us, promising that nothing would change except their paychecks for the better. Your father would be proud, said Tommy, our head chef.